If you have anything to do with mathematics or math education, I believe you need to watch this video. My name is Amos Tarfa. I'm the author of Tools for Mastering Mathematics, which I wrote back in the day in 2012 to 2014. It was a series of papers basically that became an integrated framework and a strategy that then gave rise to Counting to Calculus, which is a curriculum framework before it is anything else. It's a standards replacement basically. The idea of Counting to Calculus is that every child should be given a good road from counting to calculus without wasting time and without using methods that hinder them from being the best they can be in education. I bring all this up because I am very concerned about education in America in general, but I'm also very concerned about math and science education specifically, and we can even zoom in further into mathematics. Why am I concerned? I have a few things I want to touch on, and then I'll come back and share more in the coming days, God willing. The key to realize is that the times are changing too fast to use conventional methods. But then some of the conventional methods needed to go away anyways. Why do you teach mathematics at your school? Why do we teach mathematics at all? What is mathematics? I have a book here called The Mathematician's Lament, and I have another one, access to another one called The Mathematician's Apology. And if you pay attention to what both authors are saying, you will see that what we do in a lot of math classes in America is not mathematics, actually globally. But let me focus on America. I'm based near Austin, Texas. What we do in America especially is not mathematics in most math classes. It's basically random information, random information being given. Kids have to memorize certain things. They have to do it a certain way. But is that what math is though? Because think about it. Have you ever met anyone who says, I hate music or I hate art? You don't hear that though. But you hear people say, I hate math. Pause. Isn't math like music and art? Why would someone hate something that is beautiful? Because of the methods employed to teach. Actually, I was going to say the methods employed to deploy the knowledge. Anyway, sorry, play on words. I also love writing and English. But the point is this. We have to change what we're doing, and we have to change it now. Not next year. No, now. Here's why. AI, if you understand the part of it that is just computation and computer science, depends on a lot of mathematics. There are issues around how AI should be used and the ethics and all that. I understand. I'm reading Dr. John Lennox's book right now, 2084. I understand that there are concerns that AI brings. But if we're talking about just the idea of computing and computers, you need a lot of mathematics and logic. So classical schools, you might not know this, but some of you have the gold to redeem AI in certain ways. Classical schools, I repeat, you have the gold because you teach logic. AI goes back to Aristotle, Blaise Pascal, George Buell, Ada Lovelace. We could talk about the history of AI. I teach that as a course. The point of this, though, is to say AI needs a lot of mathematics. And America might just be shutting the door on its citizens in becoming top AI mathematicians. Why do I say that? If we're still debating whether or not kids should learn calculus, this book says the teaching of mathematics from counting to calculus. If we are in an industrialized nation and we're debating whether or not kids should learn calculus, we're putting our students at a disadvantage. I grew up in Nigeria. We didn't have constant electricity or running water where I went to school. We had to go fetch water. We had to find ways to study with difficult situations. Everybody had to learn calculus to graduate. We did it in very difficult situations though. And here we are in America with constant electricity and all the tools we could have, and we're debating whether or not we need calculus? Like, I personally, I'm honest, help me understand. Now, if we say it's because, oh, you don't understand, not everybody can get to that point. Here's my other question. Have we examined from first principles why we teach math the way we do and the sequence we use? Have we done that from first principles where we ask, why does it have to be this way? Let me give you an example. I don't know of any country in the world where they get 3 months off from math. I don't know of any country. Maybe you do, other than America. Maybe Canada does. I don't know their system. Tell me in the comments what you do in Canada. But my point is, why do we get 3 months off from math and then come back and review? There was a time where we might have done certain things a certain way, but we have to change. But we don't have to change by just adding the more work to our students to learn mathematics on a larger dose. That's not what I'm proposing. I'm proposing that we go back and teach the history of mathematics. This is Woolsthorpe Manor, Isaac Newton's house. I was there last year, and one of the things I said to myself is, I need to come back here almost every year, right? I need to bring some educators here. And let's talk about the history of calculus. Why do we even teach calculus? What is calculus? What is math? We haven't answered the fundamental questions of mathematics in terms of what the thing is we're trying to teach. And we've just been doing this on and on. But the problem now, though, is if we don't change our ways, we will be shutting the door to students who want to go into STEM fields, right? Those who want to become scientists or people in computer science. We might be limiting their opportunities if we keep giving them 3 months off. We can't do that in the AI revolution. We can't, because there's so much mathematics. There's so much that you need to keep learning. Now, Amos is not saying everybody should go to school every day for 7 days a week. Amos is saying we need to ask ourselves, what are we even doing? That's number one. But then number two, how can we help more children flourish in it? And then number three, can we assess every aspect of this and maybe spread out math learning year round and not have a 3-month break? Like, we don't do that for basketball. I don't know how many basketball coaches give their players 3 months off. We don't do that for sports, but we do that for academics. But math is becoming like the new gold, that if you don't have it, you're going to be stuck. Think about quantum computing when it comes. Think about humanoid robots. Think about going to space. I'm not going to Mars, but for those who want to go, right? Think about that, right? Mathematics is a key. And if we don't give people the good dose of mathematics and they hate it, then we're doing them a disservice. How can you hate something so beautiful? Math is beautiful. And what I've done now is I've created a new set of standards for schools that want to step up their game. In my standards, you do calculus in 9th grade, and then Calc 2 and Calc 3, and linear algebra and differential equations and data science. So when you graduate in 12th grade, you get all of it. And that's possible now because there's no reason that we have the tools and we're still teaching like it's 1970. Like, this book was written in 1970. And we're teaching math like it's 1970. Now, our methods, some of them go back to 1870. The times have changed. And we have to ask ourselves questions about, why am I doing what I'm doing, right? When I wrote my first book after high school, one of the things I said was, there are reasons why people do what they do. One of the reasons is because that's the way it's always been done. Another reason is, everybody's doing it. Sometimes we don't even think about why we do what we do. And then the last one I gave was, for me as a Christian, I say because that's what brings God glory or pleases him. So I wanted to do things because I wanted to live for the one who made me. We won't get into too much of the detail here, but I wasn't doing the things to be accepted and gain salvation. No, I was doing it because I wanted to please him after I've come to know him, right? So the reason why I bring that up is everybody needs to ask, why are you doing what you're doing? Is it because of, everybody's doing it, but that doesn't make it right? Or it's always been done that way. Like, we teach geometry in between algebra 1 and 2. In the AI revolution, we really have to, let's remove that geometry, put algebra 1 and 2 next to one another, finish them in a year, and run geometry simultaneously. That's what they do in Nigeria. I'll tell you, that's what they do. People in Nigeria learn multiple math classes, sometimes 3, simultaneously. That's what they're doing. I'm releasing the secrets now. Run with the secret. No. Geometry is a certain way of thinking. Algebra 1 and 2, another way of thinking. Combine them and you complete 3 years of math in a year. I have more goodies on how to learn mathematics effectively. I can talk about later. So let's wrap this up. Number one, we need to revisit why we teach mathematics. Number two, we need to understand how AI and mathematics are connected. Number three, we need to understand the importance of teaching people how to learn, because that's the most important thing now. Information is everywhere, but we need to know how to learn. Number four, we need to teach the history and philosophy of mathematics. We must tell students why they need to know about logarithms. We must tell students what exponential functions are for or where they came from. We must connect math to physics, to chemistry. We must have an interdisciplinary approach if we're going to make sense of mathematics in the age of AI. And number five, worldview matters. And so I'll leave you with two passages that really are encouraging. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the second one, let us make man in our own image. Genesis 1:26-27. AI is the first technology that forces us to ask the question, what is a human? Why are we here? Where do we go from here? I'll be discussing that more in the Counter to Calculus series. But let's all unite and raise the bar in education. Have a blessed day.